beer tubers, welcome back to Maxwell Starr's beer review. Tonight we're going to take a look at a beer that I had to take a look at eventually, and one that I'm actually surprised I haven't looked at it on this channel before. I've reviewed two derivatives of this beer, but I haven't reviewed the beer itself. So, what does a situation like this call for? Be it you're really thirsty, you're at a party, you've just finished doing some yard work, be it raking the leaves, mowing the lawn, or shoveling the snow out of the driveway. Well, that calls for a Bud Light. Bud Light, the light version of Budweiser, 4% ABV. This particular version is brewed in Canada. The regular stuff is brewed by Anheuser-Busch in St. Louis, Missouri. This one here comes from Labatt Brewing Company here in Canada, which is a subsidiary of InBev, Anheuser-Busch, that entire group. They have the contract for brewing Budweiser in Canada. So, this one is, well, gets similar history. You know, Budweiser in the U.S. started out as a beer company that was originally a copy of the Czechoslovakian, the Czech Republic beer company Budweiser, Budweiser Budjevus or Budvar, which is known here as Czechvar because of these guys. But it's over the years. It survived the period of the Great Depression. It was important, like America's #1 beer during like World War II, and has a big amount of history. But now today, it's mainly just considered to be a macro beer. You know what? If you want to know more about Budweiser, go watch my Budweiser review that I posted close to a year ago. So let's give this one a pour in my cold filtered light Pilsner glass. So, looking at that, very clear. It barely has any color at all. At the time of recording this, I've actually recorded my Michelob Ultra review, and Michelob Ultra is still lighter than this, but this one is much lighter than regular Budweiser or pretty much any kind of macro lager. It's not like it's absolutely straw pale. It's just a light golden color, and actually has about a finger of head on it. But you know what? They probably use some kind of chemical to help the head retention on that one. But meh. So looking at that, very little carbonation coming up through there. It's just a gentle amount. You can see the bubbles coming up through. There's a little bit of a chill in the glass because I do have this cold. Usually leave them sitting out a little longer, and I've got a couple more beers sitting on my counter here that I'm going to review in a bit that are waiting for longer, but this one here is still somewhat cold. But you know what? It's Bud Light. So, yeah, it looks like your generic lager, basically, from a macro beer company. So, let's give it a sniff. There's a little bit of soda water, almost like a little bit of sulfur, and a floral sweetness, like a little tiny touch of like a more floralness than sweet, but it's that genuine, like the general characteristic you get off of a rice beer, something using rice as an adjunct. And I'm getting a big, like chalky kind of, like chalk water kind of thing, like that soda water typically has. Although it's kind of funky that I'm getting this little bit of like a sulfur note off the center of it. That's really strange. Anyway, down the hatch. Ugh. There's a little bit of metallicness. There's a little bit of like toasted grain, like toasted wheat, toasted corn. Now floral sweetness as well in the center. But the biggest thing I get is not so much bitterness, but that whole, like, if you've ever drank a can of soda water, like straight club soda, you know what this tastes like. This is basically just carbonated water. I mean, there is some flavor in it, but it's not the typical flavors I would associate with a good light beer. That said, it's not absolutely offensive, and it is easy to drink, but it is incredibly watery. Mm. I still have to say that I could think of worse, but it's so middle of the road. It's not funny. Um, where does this fit amongst other light beers? I still like the likes of Moosehead's Cracked Canoe or Sleeman Light a little bit better than this. Probably even Moosehead Light to a certain degree, but I thought Moosehead's Light was very watery, just like this one is. This one's almost devoid of any kind of flavor, but maybe that's the kind of thing you like in your beer. You don't like drinking a beer that has flavor that gets too much in the way of being able to put a few of these down, or being able to enjoy your beer because you don't want that flavor. Honestly, there's a ton of beers out there. If you're a true beer drinker, that you're gonna enjoy a lot more than this, but it's not horrible, and it's not as horrible as some of the other derivatives. I kind of like I kind of like Bud Light Lime better than this one, but this is obviously better than Bud Light Lime Mojito. This is one of their favorite beers to add flavors to, so I suppose it's because it doesn't really have much flavor to begin with. Well, I'd say it's worthy of at least a rating of a 1.5 out of 5. It's not absolutely incredible. It's not immensely enjoyable, but it's just a good swill drinking beer. And to most people who really don't care so much about the quality of their beers as much as they like being able to drink several of these, it's not that bad. From someone, I enjoy lots of craft beer from all over the world, and it's unimpressive to say the least. Being inoffensive doesn't always get marks from me. So 1.5 out of 5 for me on Bud Light. Yeah. Why am I even doing a review on this? Most people have already had this anyway. So thanks for watching. I'll talk to you guys later.